Washington Pod presents EARL Nightingale.
The Menninger Foundation recognizes some guidelines for good mental health, so check yourself against 5 points from those guidelines. 5 important attributes of mentally healthy people are, number 1, a wide variety of sources of gratification. This does not mean that they chase frenetically from one activity to another, but that they find pleasure in many different ways and from many things. If for any reason they lose some of their sources of gratification, they have others to turn to. For example, a person who loses a good friend through death may sorrow, but if he has other good friends, he draws psychological sustenance from them and recovers. But if a person loses his only good friend, he has little to fall back on and continues to grieve in his loneliness. A person has the same problem if his only interest is his job, or his immediate family, or a single hobby. 2. Flexibility under stress. A windstorm may blow over the great oak, while the grass and reeds about it are undamaged. They're flexible, the oak is not. Mentally healthy people learn to roll with the punches. When faced with problems, they can see alternative solutions. Flexibility under stress is closely related to having a wide variety of sources of gratification. With more supports to fall back on, a person is less threatened by situations that produce fear and anxiety. Number 3, recognition and acceptance of limitations and assets. Put another way, they have a reasonably accurate picture of themselves and they like what they see. This doesn't mean they're complacent about themselves, but that they know they cannot be anyone else, and that's all right with them. They build on their assets and don't knock their heads against the wall in areas in which they have little or no ability. 4. Understanding the importance of treating people as individuals. Mentally healthy persons recognize others as distinct and different and original human beings and treat them as such. Make them feel important and esteemed. People who are preoccupied with themselves pay only superficial attention to others. They're so tied up in themselves that they cannot observe the subtleties in another person's feelings, nor can they really listen. Mentally healthy people care about what other people feel. 5. Keeping active and productive. Mentally healthy people use their resources on their own behalf and on behalf of others. They do what they do because they like to do it and enjoy using their skills. They don't feel driven to produce to prove themselves. They're in charge of their activities. The activities are not in charge of them. When they're chosen for leadership of one sort or another, it's because they have the skills to lead in a given situation, not because they have to exercise power over others. Qualifying as a mentally healthy person isn't all that difficult, but it does include those 5 important criteria. Those who qualify are people who like to say yes to life, and do so whenever they feel they can. Do you have a wide variety of sources of gratification? Are you flexible under stress? Flexibility under stress was once nominated as the most important qualification of a great executive by the Harvard Business School. Do you recognize and accept your limitations as well as your assets? Do you treat others as individuals, each one separate and worth recognition as such? Are you active and productive? Are you in the driver's seat of your activities rather than in the back seat going along with someone else's direction? If you answered yes to all 5 of the criteria for good mental health, you're no doubt the person I'm talking about. Perhaps you're looking for a new aiming point, a new goal, a new interest in life. If you do not meet the 5 criteria, examine the 1 or more that you do not meet and resolve to qualify as soon as you can. And by all means, relax and open your doors and windows to the fresh breeze of life and its possibilities. Start saying yes.